Hi, this is Del Warren. We're back at the Kegel Training Center for your next tip, which is bowler adjustments. And basically there are 5 that a bowler can make in order to adjust for an ever-changing environment. And we're going to call this laser, and I can't remember where I got this from. I didn't make it up. I know there's another coach out there that did, but I like when I talk about this, it makes it easy to remember. So the first adjustment that you can make would be loft, and that's changing how far out you set the ball down on the lane. The longer you loft the ball, the more it's going to delay the ball going down the lane. It's going to change the overall ball motion. So for example, if I want to lay the ball down a little sooner because my ball's not hooking quite as much or picking up as soon as I can, if I get the ball down on that lane sooner, the ball's going to start to slow down sooner and it's going to go into the pins a little differently. If I want to delay the ball reaction, I'm going to loft the ball in probably increments of about 6 to 8 inches. And you can go practice that. There are some players that I've seen, especially in college bowling, that can actually loft it past the arrows and do it very well when we have to get inside of the ball return and eliminate the front part of the lane. They've gotten that good at it because they've practiced it. Okay, so that's the first adjustment. The second adjustment would be to how to change your angle, and this is a pretty basic adjustment for any bowler. Learning how to move in increments of, let's say, 2 and 1, 2 with your feet, 1 with your target, and pointing it to a focal point is a pretty basic adjustment and is very simple. However, there are times where you have to get in parts of the lane that you may not be familiar with, and so what I would encourage you to do is play different parts of the lane, play different angles in your practice sessions. Learn how to be comfortable being uncomfortable by learning how to play the 5th arrow all the way down over here to the first board and everything in between, because if you're a competitive bowler, you're going to face those situations. So the third adjustment is speed. Again, a pretty basic adjustment. Today in the sport of bowling, being able to make speed changes as the lane changes is a critical adjustment. There are many different ways to change your speed. Most people are very, very comfortable throwing it a little bit harder, but many times as you move in and change angles, you also need to soften your ball speed a little bit. So what I would encourage you to do is figure out your own system on how to change speeds. So for example, when I want to throw the ball a little bit slower, I'll move up on the approach and reduce the size of my steps. I will also make sure that my tempo of my feet and my swing as I get the ball into the swing also slows down. Conversely, if I want to throw it harder, I'll move back on the approach and hold the ball a little bit higher. But that is my system. That's how I do it. The way I developed that was I tried things and I practiced and I found something over time that worked for me. And so it's very easy by changing my setup and where I stand and how I position the ball to change the speeds quite automatically without really me thinking about it too much. The next adjustment is equipment. Now in the Teen Masters situations, you get 2 balls. It makes it very easy to learn both of these pieces of equipment. One is urethane and one is polyester. Both of them have completely different characteristics. Both of them have completely different ball motions. In the other part of the game that you play all the time, you have an array of bowling balls that you can select. A lot of people are not comfortable with changing bowling balls. What I love about the Teen Masters situation is it allows you to get to know 2 different balls very easily and quickly, because you don't really have a lot of options. But what I would say about switching equipment is make sure that your thumb holes feel exactly the same and the balls feel as close to the same as possible, so that it doesn't take you 1 or 2 shots when you do change equipment to actually adjust your release. And the last one is release. And this one I think is overlooked today by a lot of players. And the fact that in the Teen Masters League and competition, the fact that you only get 2 bowling balls, it is imperative that you work on changing your axis rotation and changing how many revolutions you get on the ball. So there's basically a couple different ways. One, if you change your revolutions, you're going to put less potential hook to the ball will be a little bit straighter. This is very good, especially on the Teen Masters pattern, because you're bowling on a limited amount of oil, and the length of the pattern tends to be a little bit shorter. And if you want to move in and you want to add rev rate, that's a different hand position to start, and a different way, a different attitude on how to throw the ball. changing your axis rotation. As I move in and I want to hook the ball a little bit more, I've got to get my hand around the side of the ball. Here I have, again, one of Eileen's bowling buddies here, the ball that we like to use. For the release in particular, you can see here I've got a line around the ball, and as I change where my fingers come out of the ball, I can change my axis rotation depending upon what part of the lane I want to play and how much I want to hook the ball. So if I want to go more up the back of the ball, I can just make sure I get that line going end over end, versus if I want to get around the ball, I can actually practice that. But you can do that with this device, you can do that with a football, you can do it with a softball, anything that you can get in your hand and learn the feel of not only the rev rate, but also how much you're going to get around the ball. So those are the 5 major adjustments that a bowler can make. The only way that you're going to get good at them is if you practice them. So today when you get out on the lanes for your 20-minute practice session, focus on maybe 2 and go out there and practice your loft and practice your speed changes. Get uncomfortable. Watch the ball reaction as you try to make those changes to the ball. Don't try to really be accurate. Just get a feeling of throwing the ball a little differently and see what the ball does. I think you'll be amazed at how easy it actually is, and then you can incorporate that into your practice sessions. All right? Good luck.